Yeah, Connor, just heading into senior day, your final game here, what are you expecting the emotions to be on Saturday?
I imagine there'll be a lot of emotions, being senior night, last night at Faroe, but I'm excited. It's been a good 5 years here. I feel like, they always talk about leave it better than you found it, and I would say the program's in a better position than when I got here 5 years ago.
Questions? Right there. Sorry.
Connor, how do you think your career arc, I guess, kind of represents or embodies the, kind of development that a player can go through at Missouri to, come in as a 3-star and then be a 4-year starter in the SEC?
Yeah, I think, making the most of opportunities, I would say, is where it started. Getting to play when I was young. I would say also a lot of it has to do just hanging around at one place necessarily, staying somewhere for 5 years instead of, maybe hitting the portal a few times and being at multiple different spots, I would say also helps with development.
Okay.
Connor, when you guys have gone back and looked over the last 3 games, has there been a common theme to the offensive struggles? Has it been something different every week?
I would say, finishing when you get an opportunity to cross the 50, you look to score points. I think in versus Texas A&M in the first half, it was 3 times and we didn't come away with any points, And then previous weeks, we had opportunities, and I would say we just weren't successful at making the plays, And ultimately, practice is where we're going to get better and just working at it.
Connor, how is Texas A&M's front 7 challenging you all as an offensive line, especially on 3rd down?
Yeah, they were good. They had some good schemes dialed up for what we were doing. We tried our best to stay out of them. 3rd and longs, they were number 1 in the country, so they're pretty good on that. And then, ultimately we'll just watch the film and go back to practice and try to correct those issues.
Coach Drink was saying that he saw confidence from Matt in practice the other day. How have you kind of seen him, obviously so young, turning the page from that loss against Texas A&M?
It wasn't like he went against a real bad defense. I mean, for that to be your first start, it's going to be tough for most guys, him being a freshman. I think he got some really good experience to go against a defense that good, and ultimately you're just going to build off of it and, learn from those mistakes and hope to not make them in the future.
Cal?
What ways can you help him out and start number 2? What ways can you help him kind of get a little bit more?
Maybe just watching film with him, maybe meeting with him more about what they do on 3rd down, what as offensive line we're doing, so maybe he can be more in tune with protection. So I'd say it's somewhere to start. We could keep better with him.
Questions?
Kind of a bigger picture one for you as well. You mentioned that leaving it better than you found it. Then you're kind of from the ground up of that. What has that looked like over the course of a few years?
Just, culture, guys in the locker room. I feel like over the years, guys have come in and been more bought into, what we're about. There hasn't been as much pushback, you could say, as, maybe earlier years. Guys have come in, been about the program, bought into what we're doing. I think, it's showed success on the field. I really do think it started, in the weight room and just guys working hard.
Sorry to keep going back to the A&M game, but Drinkwitz talked after the game about the play call on the sack fumble late in the 2nd quarter. What, just from your vantage point, what happened there and what did Texas A&M do to
honestly, I don't remember it too much. I really can't recall, honestly, what happened there too much, to be honest with you.
Anything else? We'll finish up right there.
It's just coming up against Mississippi State. What do you think are kind of some of the main challenges that they present for you guys, especially trying to bounce back after a loss?
Yeah, they run a little bit more odd on defense compared to some of the teams we've seen. They're going to twist. They're going to have a 4th rusher more than not, a simulated pressure. So just trying to find who that guy will be and where we need to slide protections and whatnot. But, yeah, I think it'll be a good test for us coming back.